Now, before we start today's program, I want the participants to introduce yourself.
Me, Noor Arpia. I study in Carmel Convent High School. I'm from Jayanagar area.
Good. I welcome you to the program, Arbia.
I'm Mosham Kumari from Government High School Saraki. I'm coming from JP Nagar.
I welcome you to the program, Mausham.
Myself, Lohit. I am studying in Oxford English High School. I am from JP Nagar.
I welcome you to the program, Lohit. Okay. Before we start the program, pay to win it. This quiz program is having 3 rounds. The first round is called the premium round, and this premium round consists of 12 questions, wherein each participant is given 4 questions to answer, each within 1 minute time. In case if the participant does not know the answer, then the participant can pass the question, and the chance to answer this past question will be given to the other participant, whoever has pressed the buzzer first. 10 marks will be rewarded for every direct answer, and 5 marks will be given for the answer if it is correct to the past question. Now, the rule number 2 for the second round. The second round is called quick memory round, and it consists of 6 questions. Any participant who presses the buzzer first will be given a chance to answer this, and every correct answer carries 10 marks. So remember, children, here there is no negative marking. You can attend, but in case if you press the buzzer and you do not answer, then 2 marks will be deducted from the score that you already scored. So no marks will be deducted for wrong answer. There is no negative marking there, but yes, 2 marks will be deducted if you do not answer after pressing the buzzer. Next, the third round, the brainstorming round. Here, each participant is given 1 minute time, and participant can answer as many questions as possible within 1 minute time. Say, supposing if you are not getting an answer to any particular question, you can say next, so that you will save some time in your pocket, so that we can proceed with next questions. Okay, so with that being said, now let's start the first round, the premium round. It's called premium round. You can score maximum marks in this round. Okay, we start with the first round. Question for Noor Arbia. The ability of metals to be drawn into thin wires is known as option A, malleability, option B, conductivity, option C, ductility, option D, sonority. Your time starts now.
Option A, malleability.
Option A, malleability.
No, ma'am. B, C, ductility.
You need to be sure with your answer.
No, ma'am.
I give you time to think. You still have time.
C, ductility.
So you want to go for C option, which is ductility. So let's see the answer for this. Yes, you got that correct. You got 10 marks in that. So answer C, ductility. Now, second question to Noor Arbia. What happens when calcium is treated with water? It does not react with water. It reacts violently with water. It reacts less violently with water. Bubbles of hydrogen gas formed stick to the surface of calcium. Option A, 1 and 4 are correct. Option B, 2 and 3 are correct. Option C, 1 and 3 are correct. And option D, 3 and 4 are correct. Your time starts from now.
Option D, 3 and 4 are correct.
Option D, 3 and 4 are correct. That means calcium reacts violently with water, and the fourth one is bubbles of hydrogen gas formed stick to the surface of calcium. You go for this option, right? So let's see if this is a correct answer. Yes, you got this one also correct. 10 more marks to you, Arbia. Now we'll go to the third question in this round. We'll go to the third question in this round. Here comes the third question to you. The composition of aqua regia is option A, dilute HCl concentrated HNO3 in the ratio 3:1. Option B, concentrated HCl dilute HNO3 in the ratio 3:1. Option C, concentrated HCl and concentrated HNO3 in the ratio 3:1. Option D, concentrated HNO3 and concentrated HCl in the ratio 3:1. Your time starts now.
Option A, ma'am.
Option A, dilute HCl and concentrated HNO3 in the ratio 3:1. You are going for this option. Okay. Let's see if this answer is correct. No, it is option C. Aqua regia composition is concentrated nitric acid and concentrated hydrochloric acid, wherein hydrochloric acid is in the ratio 3 volumes and nitric acid in the volume 1. So 3:1 concentration of HCl and nitric acid is the correct answer for aqua regia. I'm sorry you got that wrong. No problem, you still have so many questions more. You can score. Good going. Now comes the fourth question to Noor Arbia. Galvanization is a method of protecting iron from rusting by coating it with a thin layer of option A, gallium, option B, aluminium, option C, zinc, option D, silver. Your time starts from now.
Option C, zinc.
Sure? You're guessing or you know this? Okay, very good. Yes, that's the correct answer. Option C, zinc is the correct answer for this question. You get 10 marks there. So that's about the 4 questions. With that, we have completed your premium round for Noor Arbia. Now the questions for Mosham Kumari. Here comes the question for you. Which one of the following are not ionic compounds? The compounds are shown to you. Your time starts from now.
Option C, ma'am.
Okay. Option C, 3 and 4. Compound 3 and 4 are not ionic compounds.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Let's see if that is the correct answer. Now, it's option B. 2 and 3 are the correct answer. For the reason that potassium chloride, KCl, and sodium chloride, they both are ionic compounds because they are formed by ionic bond or the electrovalent bond. Whereas in case of HCl, hydrochloric acid, and carbon tetrachloride, the bond present in them is covalent bond, which is formed by mutual sharing of electrons. So, the option B, which contains 2 and 3 compounds in it, are the ones which are not ionic in nature. Okay, no marks for that. No problem, you have still some more questions to come, you can score. Here comes the next question to you. During electrolytic refining of zinc, it gets option A, deposited on cathode, option B, deposited on anode, option C, deposited on cathode as well as an anode, and option D, remains in the solution. Your time starts now.
Option B.
Option
on-
B, it's going to get deposited on anode.
Yes, ma'am.
You're sure?
Yes, ma'am.
It's a guess?
No.
Okay, let's see that. In the electrolytic refining of zinc, it gets deposited onto the cathode. So option A was the correct answer, not option B. So no marks to you for this question. It's general that during the electrolytic refining of any metal for that matter, zinc, copper, whatever we going to refine it in the electrolytic method, the pure component is going to get deposited onto the cathode and it is coming out from the anode terminal. So that I want all the students to remember. It's a common mistake often done by students. So we'll go to the next question for Mosham Kumari. An alloy is option A, an element, option B, a compound, option C, it's a heterogeneous mixture, option D, it's a homogeneous mixture. Time starts now.
Option D.
Option D, it's a homogeneous mixture. Sure?
Yes, ma'am.
Good. That's actually the correct answer. It's a homogeneous mixture because an alloy is always made up of elements which are having physically together presence, but they do not form any chemical bond as such, but they are always present physically together. So the molecules which are physically close together, they always form homogeneous mixture. Point to remember here is that in an alloy they do not form any chemical bond as such, and it is always going to be a mixture. Okay, the last question in the premium round for Mosham Kumari now. Here comes the last question for you. Which among the following alloys contain mercury as one of its constituents? Option A, stainless steel. Option B, alnico. Option C, solder. Option D, zinc amalgam. Your time starts now.
Option A, stainless steel.
Option A, stainless steel. Okay, you're sure with that?
Yes, ma'am.
You're going for that option?
Yes.
No change? Okay. Let's see. Answer is zinc amalgam. Whenever we say any metal with amalgam, that means the amalgam is because of mercury being present in it. Zinc amalgam, sodium amalgam. Zinc amalgam has a formula ZnHg. Sodium amalgam is having a formula NaHg. So whenever you see the word amalgam, it means that that metal is in contact with mercury. Okay, with that we completed all the 4 questions for you in this premium round. So next, the questions for you. Questions for you, Lohit, in the first round. Here comes the first question to you. Horn silver is an oxide ore of silver, or is it sulfide ore of silver, a carbonate ore of silver, or a chloride ore of silver? Time starts now. Horn silver can be which ore of silver? Is it oxide?
Option D, ma'am.
Option
D.
D. It's a chloride ore of silver. Sure?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, let's look into the answer. Yes, you got that correct. 10 marks to you in this round. Horn silver is a chloride ore of silver having the formula AgCl. You can see the picture of this horn silver displayed to you. Now, let's take up the second question for Lohit in this round. Which of the following is liquid at ordinary temperature? Option A, gallium. Option B, germanium. Option D, gold. Option C, gold. Option D, galena. Time starts now.
Option B, germanium.
Option B, germanium. You going to go for that? You're sure about this answer? Okay, let's see. Now, option A is the correct answer. At ordinary temperature, gallium and mercury will be remaining as liquid metals. And non-metal which will be liquid at room temperature is bromine, we find in the alkali metals, cesium, rubidium and francium also will become liquid at a few degrees higher temperature than the room temperature. Okay, so no marks to you, Lohit, there. No problem, you have still 2 more questions to go. Cinnabar is an ore of option A, copper, option B, lead, option C, mercury, option D, zinc. Time starts now. Cinnabar. Is it ore of copper, lead, mercury or zinc? Time is running.
Option C, ma'am.
Option C. It's ore of mercury. Okay. That's the correct answer. It's a ore of mercury. Cinnabar is in fact called HGS, which is a ore of mercury. Cinnabar is a sulfide ore and it's ore of mercury. Okay, now let's look into the last question in this round for Rohit. The formula of magnetite is option A Fe2O3, option B FeS2, option C FeCO3, option D Fe3O4. Time starts now.
Option C, ma'am.
Option C.
Yes, ma'am.
You're sure? Want to give a try with one more option you can do? You have time. If you say it's C only, I'll take that.
Option B, ma'am.
Okay. You're sure it's option B now?
Yes, ma'am.
Fine. 30 seconds left. So let's see which is the answer. The formula for magnetite is option D Fe3O4. Fe3O4 is called chemically, its name is ferroferric oxide, and it is the magnetite ore with this chemical name ferroferric oxide, and it is a mineral, rock mineral, and it is one of the important ore of iron. And one of the important property of that is it is highly magnetic. So highly magnetic, we call it as very magnetic in nature. So once they are put into the magnetic field, they themselves can become permanent magnets. So that's about an important point on the magnetite. So with that, we come to the end of the first round. So let's look into the scores of the premium round. Noor Arbia scored 30, Mosham Kumari scored 10 and Lohit scored 20. Congratulations. Now let's take up the second round. Okay, let's start the second round, the quick memory round, the buzzer round. Whoever presses the buzzer first gets the chance to answer, and every correct answer carries 10 marks. Here comes the first question. Moderately reactive metals are? Timer is running. Yes, Lohit?
Calcium and aluminum.
Moderately reactive metals. Now you should tell me which option it is.
Option D, ma'am.
Option D. Option D, calcium and aluminium. So let's see which is the answer. It's option C, wherein it's showing 1 and 3, lead and copper. Because calcium and aluminium are present at the top of the activity series, lead and copper is present in the middle of the activity series. So middle activity series present element will be moderately reactive. So let's go to the next question in this round. Match the following. Match the element of column A with their correct atomic number in column B. The time starts now. Time is running.
Option B, ma'am.
No. I should give you the chance first to answer. Who press the buzzer first? Okay, Noor Arbia, press the buzzer first.
Option B, ma'am.
Option D.
B.
B. Option B. Okay, who is the next person to press the buzzer? Yeah, Mausham Kumari, what's your answer?
Option C.
Option-
D.
Option D. Mausham tells it is D and Noor Arbia tells it is B. Now let's see which is the correct answer. It's option D, which is the correct answer. Sodium is having the atomic number 11, calcium has 20, argon has 18 and chlorine is 17. So it goes well with option D. So that's the correct answer. So Mausham gets the marks for that. 10 marks for Mausham Kumari. Next question. Aluminium is used in thermite welding because option A, aluminium is a light metal. Option B, aluminium has more affinity for oxygen. Option C, aluminium is a strong oxidizing agent. Option D, aluminium is a reactive metal. Time starts now. Yes, Mausham? Okay, who press the buzzer first? Noor Arbia.
Option D, ma'am.
Option D, aluminium is a reactive metal.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, what's your answer, Lohit? Both of you are selecting option D. Okay, you want to give a try? Mausham Kumari? Yeah, tell me.
Option A.
Option A. So let's see which is the correct answer for this. It's option B. So none of you get the marks for that. Aluminium is used in thermite welding because it has got more affinity for oxygen. That means it is used for welding the railway tracks. That process we call it as thermite welding. Aluminium is used for doing this. And what is the reason for this? Because aluminium is having more affinity for oxygen. Okay, let's go for the next question. Nobody gets the answer for that. Here comes a match the following. Match the element of column A with their correct properties in column B. Time starts now. Time is running. And they happen to be very important properties of those respective metals. Yes?
Option C, ma'am.
You press the buzzer first, Noor Arbia. Now you tell option C as your answer. Fine. Next. Lohit Kumar. Yes, option B. And Noor Arbia, you tell your option as
C, ma'am.
C. Now, let's see which is the correct answer. It's option B. So who told this option B? Lohit gets the 10 complete marks for it because mercury is liquid at room temperature. Sodium can be cut with a knife. Silver is the best conductor of heat and lead is a poor conductor of heat. So the option which matches for all of this is option B. Lohit gave the correct answer. Lohit get 10 marks for this question. Now comes the fifth question in this round, in the quick memory round. Which of the following metals react with steam to produce oxide instead of hydroxide? Usually metals, when they react with water or steam, they form hydroxide. But which of the following metal produces oxide instead of hydroxide? Option A, sodium. Option B, calcium. Option C, potassium. Option D, magnesium. Time starts now. This is a very important reaction. Time is running. Yes, Lohit. Option A, sodium. Okay. Still, yes.
Option B, ma'am.
Option B. You tell it is calcium. Okay. Mausham Kumar, you would like to give a try?
Magnesium.
Option D, magnesium. Okay. answer is option D, magnesium, because magnesium will react with steam or water in the form of water vapor, forming magnesium oxide and liberating hydrogen gas. So the correct answer is option D. Marks goes for Moshan Kumari. So now we come to the last question in this quick memory round. What is the action of the metal with the following compounds? The compounds are shown to you: copper oxide and zinc oxide. How do these compounds react with zinc and magnesium? Time starts now. And they are very important distinctive reactions. Yes, Lohit?
Zinc oxide plus copper.
Now you need to tell me what will be the action. Just straight away come to the chemical reaction. I don't want you to give me the equation now. "29 seconds more."
Ma'am, once more explain the question.
You have to press the buzzer and you can answer. Yes.
Copper oxide when reacts with zinc will displace copper.
Okay.
And with magnesium will also displace copper.
Okay, then the second, zinc oxide.
It will remain the same.
Okay, with
And
magnesium.
magnesium
Time up there. Yeah, you can answer. Complete the answer quickly.
magnesium will displace zinc.
Good. So that's the correct answer. Copper oxide reacts with zinc and zinc displaces copper from copper oxide. So is magnesium when reacts with copper oxide displaces copper from copper oxide. Zinc when reacts with zinc oxide there's no reaction. Magnesium when reacts with zinc oxide displaces zinc because magnesium is more reactive than zinc. So with that we come to the end of the second round, the quick memory round. This round is being kept to see how quickly the correct answer you are able to recollect. All of you played very well. Now let's look into your scores. Now the scores of the quick memory round. Noor Arbia gets complete 10 mark for one question, correctly been answered. Mosham Kumari gets 20 and Lohit Kumar gets 10 marks in this round. Now let's start with the third round, the last round, the brainstorming round. Here it is an individual round. Each one of you will be given 1 minute time. You can answer as many questions as you can. And after you complete answering in the 1 minute time, then we are going to look into the answers which you answered correctly and which you went wrong. So now the first set of question in the brainstorming round for Noor Arbi. Our time starts now. Blue color of copper sulfate solution disappears when some aluminium powder is added to it because
Aluminium displaces copper.
okay, aluminium displaces copper from copper sulfate solution.
Yes.
Okay, now the second question for you. Argentite and zinc blend or oxide ores, true or false?
False.
Okay. Brass is a mixture of copper and tin.
True.
Okay, let's go to the next question. Chemical formula for alumina is?
Next.
Non-metal which is a good conductor of electricity is? Non-metals are usually bad conductors, but there is one which is a good conductor. Which is that one? Time is running.
Sodium.
Okay, I'm sorry, time up there. So let's see. The ones that you answered correctly. First one you answered correctly. Aluminum displaces copper from copper sulfate solution, forming a colorless aluminum sulfate. Argentite and zinc blend are oxide ores. It's a sulfide ore. Brass is a mixture of copper and tin. You said true, but brass is an alloy of copper and zinc. Bronze is an alloy of copper and tin. So make a note there. Bronze is an alloy of copper and tin. Brass is an alloy of copper and zinc. No marks for you for that. Chemical formula of alumina is Al2O3. Next, non-metal which is a good conductor of electricity is graphite, which is made out of carbon. Okay, so you are able to answer 5 questions. Well played. Now the next set of questions for Mosham Kumari. The questions to you, Mosham Kumari. Carbon cannot be used for the extraction of aluminium from its oxide because time has already started. Next, in the preparation of hydrogen from hydrochloric acid, granulated zinc is preferred over a block of zinc because. You want to go for the next? Name the metal having highest melting point.
Sodium.
Okay. Next question. Aluminium and its alloy are extensively used in making bodies of automobiles and aircrafts because. What property of aluminium makes them to be used so?
It is a mixture of homogeneous mixture of 2 or more metals and non.
Now why they are used? You need to tell its property. Okay, going for the next. Zinc is used in making containers of dry cells because. Time up there. Time up there. So let's see. Carbon cannot be used for extraction of aluminium from its oxide because. These are the answers for the question posed for Mosham Kumari. Answer is aluminium is a strong reducing agent than carbon. So therefore carbon cannot be used for extraction of aluminium from its oxide ore. Okay, in the preparation of hydrogen from hydrochloric acid, granulated zinc is preferred over a block of zinc metal because granulated zinc has more surface area than the block of zinc metal. Then the name of the metal having highest melting point is tungsten. Its boiling point is around 3410 degrees Celsius. Very important question. Aluminium and its alloys are extensively used in making bodies of automobiles and aircrafts because of its light and strong nature. That's the answer. Now let's look into the answer for the last question what Mosham Kumari answered. Zinc is used for making containers of dry cells because. Answer is of its strong oxidizing nature. Because time went, you were not in a position to answer. Okay, well played Mosham there. Now the next set of questions for Lohit. Okay, here comes a question for you Lohit. Your time starts now. Lead pipes are used for transporting corrosive chemicals in chemical plants because.
Next, ma'am.
Okay, copper is used for making electrical wires because.
Because it is a good conductor of electricity.
Okay, next question. Name the 2 nonmetals found in the solid state.
Next, ma'am.
Iodine is a nonmetal but has lustrous nature.
True.
Okay. Ionic compounds have high melting and boiling points because.
Next, ma'am.
What is your reason for this? You want to go for the next? Name any two metallic oxides that are insoluble in water.
Next.
Metallic oxide which are insoluble in water.
Next, ma'am.
The most malleable metal and the most ductile metal of all the metal is.
Next.
Okay. The metal with lowest melting point is.
Metal with the lowest.
Sorry, time up there. Okay, let's. Look into the answers. Lead pipes are used for transporting corrosive chemicals in chemical plants because of the corrosion resistant property of the lead. Copper is used for making electrical wires because of its high electrical conductivity and ductility. You get the marks for this. Name the two non-metals which are found in solid state. Carbon and sulfur. Iodine is a non-metal but has lustrous nature. You said true. You get marks for this. Ionic compounds are having high melting and boiling points because they possess strong attractive force in them. The force of attraction is called electrostatic forces of attraction, as oppositely charged ions are attracted. Therefore, the melting points and the boiling points of the ionic compounds are all the time higher. Next, name any two metallic oxides that are insoluble in water. Calcium oxide and iron oxide are the two metallic oxides which are insoluble in water. In general, what you can remember is metallic oxide which are highly acidic are not soluble in water, and which are basic are definitely soluble in water. Metal oxides which are basic are soluble in water. Next, the most malleable metal and the most ductile metal of all the metals is gold. In fact, gold, 1 ounce of gold, 1 ounce means 28.3495 grams, and if you convert it into kg, its kg value will be just 0.083495 kg. Such small quantity of gold can be beaten into thin sheets measuring roughly about 5 meters on sides. So that's the malleable capability of the gold metal. And this thin sheet of gold is known as gold leaf and are primarily used for making arts, crafts and gilding. Gilding means making a golden appearance in the paints. Okay. So I think only those many questions you answered. So with that, we completed today's episode on Spare a Minute to Learn It, the sure way to win it episode on the topic of metals and non-metals, where the emphasis was made more for the properties of the metals, its salient features, so on. So all the questions that have been asked here are important for this year board examination. So the viewers you are looking at into this, I want you to repeatedly watch this, learn the concepts from this. I wish you all the best. Okay, with that we have completed this episode on Spare a Minute to Learn It, the sure way to win it episode. Focus more on the concepts of the properties of the metals, its unique features, and few important chemical reactions that it shows. So look into the scores. Scores are given only to keep the competitive spirit alive. This is not an indication of your true capabilities. Your 3 are capable of achieving much more things in your life. Keep practicing this lot of time. You can be doing still more good in the next coming episodes. And I wish you all the best. Now before we wind up, I would like to give the scores finally. Noor Arbia scored 45 marks. Congratulations. Very good. Mausham Kumari, you scored 30. Congratulations. Very good. Lohit, you scored 50. Congratulations. Very good. So let's celebrate for all of you for actively participating with preparation. I congratulate Noor Arbi of Carmel School for participating in the second episode of Spare a Minute to Learn It, the sure way to win it. I want Arbia to share her experience about this program.
I really enjoyed participating in this program, and I could correct so many mistakes. I'll try hard to get first place next time, and I really enjoyed this program.
Congratulations again.
Thank you.
I congratulate Mausham Kumari of Government High School, Saraki, for participating in the second episode of Spare a Minute to Learn It. I would request Mausham Kumari to share her experience about this program.
I'm thankful for BIC to giving me this opportunity to participate in this competition. I requesting my friends to watch this episode and learn it.
I congratulate Lohit Kumar of Oxford Higher Primary School
I think so. I should
for
remove this.
participating in this program of Spare a minute to
Thank you.
learn it, and I want you to share your experience, Lohan.
I'm very glad to be part of this show. I learned so many things which I didn't know. I'm thankful to this institution. I thank each and every person. I thank my teachers, my classmates, each and every person. Thank you, ma'am.
Spare a minute to learn it.
A sure way to win it.